We have our first presentation today is from a friend of mine who I met when I first moved to Broward County. I got hired at Orange Brook Elementary, which was serendipity, and it put me in proximity to our union president, Anna Fusco. And I also got to meet Rebecca Goodballet, who was teaching kindergarten at Orange Brook Elementary. And Rebecca has embraced this program and is one of our shining stars and volunteered to go first. So I will hand it off to Rebecca. Do you need to share screen, or do you?
Okay, I can share now.
Yes.
Okay, let me sure this thing is up. Okay. We practice. Let's see if it works. Okay. No, not yet. Get it up. There it is. Oh. There you go. Okay, can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay, here. Oh, there you go.
So Rebecca, go up to slideshow, click on where it says slideshow, and then play from start. There you go.
Okay, I'm Rebecca Goodballet, and I am a kindergarten teacher, Broward Teachers Union. And my topic was homework. In what grade is it appropriate to assign homework, and how much homework should be assigned for an age group? And the Broward School Board defines homework as meaningful and quality work assigned to students that is intended to be completed during non-instructional hours. The school district also says homework is required at all grade levels in all schools. So does homework benefit students in primary grades, secondary grades? Yes and no, it just depends. It has little benefit for children in younger grades is what my research has found out. Younger grades, they are not as independent. They need help with their homework. And so for them to be able to do it, they need someone to facilitate with them. So it really doesn't have much benefit for them. But for older students, it can be a benefit if it helps them with their knowledge, what they're learning, if it's a contributing factor to what they're doing actually in class, then it does show that there is a benefit for older kids. Depending on the decade, teachers have either assigned a lot of homework or very little. What my research found out was, like at the beginning of the last century, students were given a lot of homework, and then there was like an ebb and a flow as to how, a lot, a little. And around the mid-1900s, like the 1950s, 1960s, for those of us who remember the Cold War and our race with Russia and on all that stuff, and Kennedy saying we're going to get to the moon by 1970, so by the end of the decade. Well, we did get to the moon by the end of the decade, but at that point in time, teachers were assigning an awful lot of homework because they felt that our education wasn't as high as the rest of the world. We were falling behind. And then around the mid-1980s, teachers were assigning less homework. And then today they're assigning more. has to do with technology and what kids are able to do as far as like the internet and what they're, what the possibilities that are given to them. So homework does affect families. And in some cases, parents have rebelled against it. The more affluent parents, they want more time with their kids. They want them to have outside activities, want them to have a more rounded life as opposed to going to school and then coming home and doing more schoolwork. It can create friction at times for some families, especially at bedtime if you have the younger kids. Parent involvement. Okay, so older students, because they're more independent, parent involvement isn't as much, especially if you have kids in junior high and high school. By then, parents expect their kids to be able to do their work independently. But K and 1 kids need help. They may need help with directions or understanding what it is they're being asked to do. This can create friction, especially if parents work and they come home from work and then the kid hasn't done the homework, and then there's dinner, bath, bedtime, and now it's time to do homework. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody's tired. So parent involvement is a factor that has to be taken into consideration when you are assigning homework. What is possible for your child to do? How much involvement is going to be taken with the parents? Who's going to be helping the kids? I know as a K teacher, I get homework sometimes and the parent has done it. They've just sat down and done it. It's their handwriting. It's not their kid's handwriting. Parents can be overwhelmed with homework. In my research, one of the parents that was interviewed, actually she's from Miami, and she said that on Monday her kindergarten child was given 25 worksheets and they had to be done by Friday. And another dad said that his son went to school all day and then when he got home, there's 45 minutes of homework at night. And the kid didn't understand, like, why am I going to school all day and then still coming home and still doing work? It made no sense to him. The advantage to parent involvement, though, is the parents can see what the child is doing in school. And this helps a lot of parents at least understand what their child is learning, especially if kids aren't bringing work home or showing their parents anything. And I know as a kindergarten teacher, a lot of parents don't go through their child's backpack. So it can have, so if the ones who do it can have a positive impact on them, they can at least be involved in their kids' education and see what they are learning. Advantage versus disadvantaged students. You have to take into consideration, especially in the older grades, what kind of home life they have, what's going on in their life. Students who have access to the internet, you can assign stuff to them that they can do, but not everybody has that. So for disadvantaged students, you have to look at, do they have time to do it? A lot of kids, and especially in high school, have jobs after school. So they work, they go to school all day, they go to the job, and they may get home like at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Now there's 2 or 3 hours of homework. So is it really fair to keep piling work on top of them, on top of everything else that they have going on in their lives? So you do have to consider the whole child and the family situation when you are assigning homework. Time for change. Some schools have actually eliminated homework, and they have found that it has no effect on test scores. Other places have asked for student input on homework. Therefore, if the child is saying, this is what I would like to do for homework, they take ownership of their homework and they actually turn in better work. They know what they need to do, so they get it done, and they've had a voice in what it is they are learning. Another thing that you could do in changing homework is ask students to read and give oral reports. I know this is better for actually younger grades. In Broward County, one of our standards in kindergarten is oral. They have to be able to speak and talk to you. And so this would be a really good thing for us to do as kindergarten teachers, is to give an assignment where they can read something or talk to somebody and come in and tell you about it. And that's something that I plan on doing. It makes it enjoyable for them. And I know I'm the online teacher for kindergarten this year. And every day I have kids say, Miss Goodballet, can I tell you something? And they just want to talk to me all day long. So yeah, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. It's fun. So 100%, we all did the surveys, and all I could say, 100% of everybody who responded to my survey questions said that kindergarten was okay to get homework. And I was so surprised at that. I couldn't believe the answers that I got. They felt that it helped prepare them for the higher grades when they actually got like real homework. So they got into the habit of doing homework. Nobody thought it was too much. One of my parents wrote that K is appropriate, but not daily. She felt it needed to be fun and engaging and something that they should want to do. And, something maybe you can choose, you could give them 2 or 3 things to choose from, and they could do that. And it actually helps them, making choices. Now they are owning their homework and knowing what it is they have to do. So the controversy over homework will probably continue until we are all long gone. There's the idea that I did it, my grandparents did it, my parents did it, my kid's going to suffer too. We all had to do it, and we're all going to continue doing it. And as teachers, we still do homework. We bring homework with us every day or over the weekend. I do lesson plans over the weekend. I'm still doing homework. So some parents may not be receptive to change, especially if someone says, I'm not giving you homework. And I know I've had, at the beginning of the year, a couple of years ago, I had a parent saying, well, where's the homework? I thought, it's the first week of school. I don't even know your kid's name yet. Let's take a break here. There is a Duke University professor named Harris Cooper who wrote the book, The Battle Over Homework. And he says that there's a 10-minute rule. So 10 minutes in first grade, 10 minutes after that, 20 minutes in second grade, 30 minutes in third. And the NEA and the National PTA both approve of this idea. So homework is here to stay no matter what. Some of the recommendations that I found in my research were that teachers could let students do their homework in class. So they stop what they're doing and give them time to do homework in class. And another thing was that this is real radical to me, that school districts could extend the day, which I don't think many school districts would approve of that, but that was another recommendation I found. Just, increase the day, and then the kids could do homework there. That way they would have access to the internet, and especially if you're having like projects done, they would have everything they would need at school. They may not have at home. Like, for me, we have construction paper and scissors and glue and that kind of thing. So that would be a recommendation. So my homework plan is, I was surprised at the answers that I got, and I'm rethinking my assignments. I'm probably going to do a lot more oral stuff next year, and I'm not going to give homework daily. And I never did give homework on Fridays anyway, but I think it's more time for me to spend with my kids, teaching them and showing them, things that they can do with me. And this is my research. The end. Yay. Did I make it under 10?
Thoughts, discussion? And President Fusco is here now. I want to give her an opportunity I see she weighed in on the chat that homework's not necessary. I always hated homework as a parent for my own kids. Great job, Rebecca. I appreciate your time and energy.
Can I tell a story that I remembered?
Absolutely.
Okay, years ago, God, in the 1980s, I took a vacation to Jamaica, and I've never forgotten this. I remember this morning when I was thinking about it. There was one night we all went out, and there was this lady there from Katy, Texas, and she was a teeny tiny little petite person. And she was really kind of getting into the swing that night. She was really imbibing a whole lot. And something came up about getting away from kids, and she said, oh yeah. And I said, so well, what's the big deal? She said, homework. She said, I have 5, and she kept saying, I have 5 kids, homework. And she said, no more homework this week. And I could not imagine having 5 kids and the different levels of homework that woman had to deal with every day. It's amazing. You know, when you think about it, you have a kid in K1 and then a kid in 6th grade, you've got all different levels of homework coming at you. And, you know, it's got to be done. Teachers expect it.
Our school moved to homework only Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday through Thursday. So no homework Monday, no homework Friday. And I found like parents either want no homework or they want a whole bunch of more homework to occupy their kids. And I've always told them, well, have them plan the menu, have them cook with you, have them, you know, play Monopoly with them, play cards with them. There's so many other things that you could do to reinforce those skills. It's not a paper and pencil worksheet. And if you really, you know, need your kid occupied, tell them to go read a book. And it doesn't have to be a book on grade level. It could be a comic book. It doesn't matter as long as they're reading. And I think parents miss that part. That practicing those skills has nothing to do with, you know, the different things that we're doing in the classroom. They could write a letter to a friend or to a congressman, whatever. There's so many different ways. And maybe if as a school, you know, the schools came up with a list of alternative activities that parents started seeing that that learning part, like, and for K, build with some blocks and Legos, which I know you don't have as much time to do in your classroom anymore, but that's huge. That's huge for them to do those things and build those structures.
I actually have some blocks that are weird, and I do it anyway. I don't care during math time. You know, they want you to have these centers and whatever. They need to build, and I just say those kids love those blocks, and there's no directions to them. They don't have to write anything afterwards. It just build with the blocks, and it's amazing to me what they build, because they're all different shapes. It's not just square blocks. So I like watching that. So yeah.
And Janae has her hand up.
Yes, Miss Rebecca, that was very enlightening. I'm a homework parent. When my daughter started in Broward schools at VSY, the teacher would send little things home, since it's Montessori, and she could write her name, but her E's were backwards. So the interactive homework I agree with, because every day she came home, the first start of homework was her writing her name at least 5 times. And she kept saying, I can't do it, I can't do it. And I'm like, you can write your name, you know your name, but with just that practice. And then we moved up. But I agree that homework should be interactive. There shouldn't be a lot of it because they get the instruction in school. So I think, like you said, next year, I think your plan will probably work a lot better for parents, especially parents, like you said, that have multi-level grades in the house. I couldn't imagine.
Well, that's 5 kids.
I couldn't imagine.
Just kept on 5 kids homework.
Yeah.
5 kids homework. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I believe we should have some homework, just not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But us as adults need to learn to leave our work at home at work and stop bringing it home as well. So that's something I'm working on for next year. Thank you.
Fine.
There are lots of good comments, Rebecca. There's lots of great feedback. I really appreciate your the research. I like that 10, 10, 10, that, you know, each year you just add 10 minutes, because I know when my kids were in, I guess, middle school, especially, you know, when you have 6 classes, that's just too much homework. And it's not productive. I really appreciate that. And President Fusco, did you want me to introduce you?
No, I think everybody knows me. I apologize for running a few minutes late. There's always little tidbits that happen throughout our district with members that need individualized attention. Just as a 30-year plus educator myself and raising my own child through the public school system, the thing I find the most important that can help people understand, you know, what is needed and not needed is these ginormous collaborative conversations. There's people's personal opinions, there's people's personal experience, there's research, there's data, there's all different ways that people come about of what they think should happen and shouldn't happen and why we should do it and we shouldn't do it. And, you know, we feed off of hearing experience like Rebecca's experience meeting that mom, 5 children, 5 pieces of homework. Well, I only had one son, and sometimes he could have amount of homework that would have been enough for spread out for 5 children. So lots of conversation, lots of personal experience, lots of professional experience, and lots of conversations like this help bring to the table that can give people an understanding. And then of course our own, professional experience of growing through the years. I don't know how many years experience each individual educator has on here. And our other group, I know every single person on our group of their years experience. And I could tell by when they're going to bring their projects of, why they brought it, how they got there, because I personally know everybody. So it's great to see the feedback that is being brought to everybody. And knowing Rebecca 15 plus years, she's actually a personal friend of mine because we were colleagues at our school for over 15 years. We actually were door buddies. So I got to know Rebecca with her teaching, and she knows mine, and she also sees my difference as a union president of being an educator. So it's to see her evolve from this research, and it helps tweak our mindset of what really our students need, is what this is all about. So I respect Rebecca to the moon. So seeing that all of her years experience, and she still was able to find something to grow from it, that's what this is about. So I hope this little piece brings that into all of you. So I'm going to be quiet now and watch the next presentations. Thank you, Rebecca.